Students, in this class we will revise this chapter number 7th, classes and objects. So in last classes already we have studied this chapter. We have studied about class, object, member functions like this, and we have written example program on class and objects. So in this class just I will revise this classes and object chapter with the help of these notes. So here, as already we have discussed in last class, what is class? So our definition of class is, what is class? So class is a user defined data that contains data members and objects. So class is defined by user. It is a user defined data. It contains member and objects. So there are different definitions given in the book. You can write any one. So CLASS is small letters here. So this is small letter CLASS is a actually keyword used in C++. So class is a keyword used in C++ for creating a class. So here in another line another definition is given. A class combines data elements and functions into a single entity or single unit. Means class is a group. Class is a group of data elements and functions. So inside class we are grouping data elements. Data elements means variables and functions. So class is a collection or group of data elements and function, or class combines data elements and functions into a single unit. Then what is object? So object already we have discussed in last class. Object is a collection of data members and associated member function. So another definition is also given here. An object is defined to be an instance of a class. Means object is instance of a class. Instance means copy. So instance meaning copy. Object is nothing but copy of a class, instance of a class. Then another definition is for member data. What is member data? So in examination you will get 1 marks question. What is member data? So the data variables or data elements declared in a class are called member data. Means variables used in a class are called as member data. For example, here this is a class. Name of class is student. So student is name of class. So inside this class we are using variables like roll number and name. So these two variables are also called as data members. So in normal programming style, variables are in object oriented programming, variables are called as data members. So these are the variables roll number and name. So these roll number and name variables we are used in class. So when it is used in class they are called as data members. So variables or data elements used in a class are called member data. Okay, next. Next is member functions. What is member function? A function declared as a member of a class is known as member function. Means any function which is used inside a class is called member function. For example, in this student class there are two functions, read data and print data. So these two functions are used inside a class, hence they are called as member function. So member function is nothing but normal function. If they are declared inside class, then they are called as member function. So simple. So what is member function? Means a function which is declared as a member of a class is known as member function. Okay, next. Access specifier. So access specifiers work like a security guard. So they protect the data and variable of a class. So access specifier protects the data and variable of a class. So here it is given, the access specifier define the scope of data. Scope means where we can use the variable, that is called as scope. So why they are used? Access specifiers are used for access protection, for hiding data and function members internal to class. Means in simple words, access specifiers are used to protect and hide the data and function of a class. So already you know, this is a student class. So inside class, this is data members and this is member functions, read and print. So to protect these data and functions, we have to use access specifiers. For example, here private and public is used, both are access specifier. So they are used inside class to protect the data member and functions. So what is the use of access specifier? So access specifier is used to protect the data and functions of a class. This is simple. So there are three types of access specifiers used in a class. So you can see here private, public and protected. So these are the three access specifiers. So they work like a security guard. They protect the data of a class. Okay, now we will see one by one. First, private access specifier. So private access means a member data can only be accessed by member function. Members declared under private are accessible only within the class. Okay, in simple words, private means if any variable which is declared in private section, then that variable cannot be accessed by other classes, or private variables cannot be shared with other classes. For example, here in private section, integer, roll number, character name, two variables are there in private section. So these variables cannot be used by other classes. So these two variables can be used by only this student class. So other classes cannot use this student's variable. In other words, private variables, if we declare variable in private section, then that variable cannot be shared with other classes. Okay, next, public. So public specifier, what is the use of public specifier? Public access means members can be accessed by any function outside the class also. So in simple words, if we use public access specifier, then those variables or data members can be used by all classes, outside classes, or these variables can be shared with any class. So here in example, in this class, this is a public, this is public specifier. It means this void read data, void print data, this function can be used by anyone, anybody can use this. Private means nobody can use, only owner of this variable means student class can use. Public means anybody can use, anybody can share these functions and variables like this. Then last is protected specifier. So protected specifier means the members which are declared using protected can be accessed only by member functions, friend of the classes, and also by member function derived from this class. So it means in simple words, if we use protected specifier, access specifier protected, then those variable can be shared with friend classes or relative classes, subclasses like this. So this topic will come in detail in next chapter, that there we will see. So just you have to remember, protected means protected access specifier is same as private. In private nobody can use those variable. In protected also members are private, but those members can be used by friend of that class. Okay, this access specifier we will study in detail in the next chapter. Okay, next topic is class definition and declaration. This is very important topic, because in examination you will get a 5 marks question explain class definition and declaration with syntax and example. So in exam for 5 marks you have to write the syntax, you have to explain, and you have to give one example. So here the definition, what is class definition and declaration? Here definition is given. What is class definition? So a class definition is a process of naming a class and data variables and member functions of a class. Means a class definition means it is the process of creating a class name with variables and functions. So here in example, here we are creating a student class with variables and functions. So this complete process is called as class definition. Class definition means creating a class with class name, its variables or data members, and functions, member functions. So all this called as class definition. Next, what is class declaration? So a class declaration specifies the representation of objects of the class and set of operations that can be applied to such objects. So class declaration means it is used to create the objects. So we will see in next topic. Now this is okay. So here first, what is class definition? So class definition means creating class and its data members and its member functions. So this process is called as class definition. Now what is the syntax? How to create class or how to define a class? So general syntax of class definition is given here. So here in this blue highlighted in yellow colored highlight section, here you can see this is the general syntax. So how to create a class? We have to use a class keyword, then user defined name, like this. So we have to create a class, we have to use class keyword. So the general syntax for defining class is given here. So we can create class first using class keyword and then this user defined name. So user defined name is given by user, then body of the class will come. So after class and user defined name, next body of the class will start from opening flower bracket and the body will end with closing flower bracket with a semicolon. So inside class body there are data members and member functions which can be divided using access specifier. So inside body of a class there are data members and member functions. So there are 3 types of data members and member functions according to access specifier: private members, protected members, or public members. So already we have seen what is private. Private members means private members are private for this class only. Private members cannot be shared with other classes. Protected means protected members are private but it can be shared with friend classes and subclasses. And public members means public members are not private, they are public, they are they can be used by any other classes, means they can be shared with anyone, any classes. So this is about class definition. So after writing this syntax of the class, you have to explain like this. So here points are given. First you have to explain, start from this class. So first this class, what is class? So class is a keyword. So class keyword is used to declare a class, means to create a class we have to start with class keyword in small letters. Second point, then this user defined name. What is user defined name? So user defined name is any name given by user. Then after class and user defined name, class body comes. So class body is enclosed in a pair of flower brackets, opening flower bracket and closing flower bracket. So inside this flower bracket, what is there? So inside flower brackets there is a class body. So class body is enclosed in a pair of flower bracket. And what is inside class body? Class body contains declaration of its members. So inside class body there are members. So members are of two types. First is this data members and functions. So inside class body there are members. Members means there are two types of members, data members and member functions. Next point, there are generally three types of members, namely private, public and protected. So inside class body members are divided into different types like private, protected and public members. Then the data variables known as member data of a class, means these member variables are called as data members, which describe the characteristics of a class. Then what is member function? So member functions are set of operations that are performed on object of the class. So there may be 0 or more functions. So functions are also known as interface. So this is the explanation about class definition. So after explanation you have to give one example. So here example is given. The example of a class is as follows. So class, here we are creating a class with class keyword and the name of class is student. So student is the user defined name given by user. You can give any name, student, employee, boy, girl, whatever name you can give. So then after class and student, this is the body of a class which starts with opening flower bracket and ends with closing flower bracket with semicolon. So inside this flower brackets there are members of a class. So members, here we are using two types of members, private members and public members. So inside private members there are two variables, roll number and name. So these variables are called as data members. And in public section we are using two members, read data and print data. So these are functions. So already you know, if any name followed by parenthesis, pair of parenthesis, then that is a function. So these are two functions called as member functions. So this is an example of a class. You have to write like this. Okay, next is member of a class. Members of a class. So what is member of a class? So member of a class means anything which is declared inside a class body is called member. So member of class means anything which is inside this body of class. So there are two types of members. The member of a class can be data or functions. Like here you can see this is data member and this is member functions. So inside class there are two types of members, data members and member functions. So the syntax for accessing class member, accessing means how to use class member. So what is the syntax? What is the rule for using class member? So here syntax is given, class object dot member data. So this is the syntax, means to use or to access the member of a class we have to use dot operator. So remember, this is very important. In last year annual examination for 1 mark it is asked in the exam, mention the name of operator which is used to access member of a data class. Means to use or access the member of a class we have to use dot operator. Here you can see full stop. So this is called as dot operator. So syntax is we have to use object name, class object dot member name. And this is the syntax for using member functions, class object name dot member function, inside parenthesis we have to use arguments. So dot operator is used to access the member of a class. Okay, then next is member functions. So what is member function? Already we have seen. What is member function means? Member function is nothing but a normal function which is declared as a member of a class. Means in simple words, member function is a function which is declared inside a class. So there are two types of member function: inside class definition, outside class definition. So if we define a function inside class body, that is called as inside class definition member function. And what is outside class definition means, if a function which is defined outside, means function body, okay, I will tell later. If a function which is defined outside a class is called as, here you can see a function defined outside a class is called as outside class definition member function. So inside function is defined inside a class and outside function is defined outside a class. In simple words, inside class definition means the function body is inside class body, and outside class means the function body is outside the class body. So to define a function outside class body, we have to use scope resolution operator. This is very, very important. So in examination you may get a 1 marks question. Write the name of a operator used for defining function outside the class. So scope resolution operator, this is double colon. Scope resolution operator is used to define function outside class. So syntax is given here. So syntax for defining inside class definition function is return type, function name, and argument list. So argument list can be empty. So here in above example you can see this is a void read data. This is the name of a function. So here return type means void, name of function means read data. So in parenthesis there is no argument. So we can use or we cannot use. Okay, next syntax for outside class definition is return type, class name, scope resolution operator, member function with argument list, then function body. So this is the syntax. So the difference between inside class outside class definition is that in inside class definition we are using return type and function name directly, but in outside class definition we are using return type with class name and scope resolution operator, then function name. So here class name and scope resolution operator is used extra. Okay, next defining objects of a class means creating, how to create an object. So here you can see how to create object. So always remember that object is created after the creation of class. Means first we have to create class, then we can create objects. So from one class we can create many objects. So here once the class is defined, an object is created from that class. Means first we have to create the class, or first we have to define the class, then we can create the objects. So objects are created in the same manner like other variable declaration. Means to create, like how to declare a variable. So to declare a variable we have to use data type, then variable name. In same way we can create object by using class name and object name. So here syntax is given. So this is the syntax for creating object. So here first we have to create a class using class keyword, then we have to give a user defined name, then this is the body of a class, public, private, protected, whatever you can use. After creating class by using the class name, this is the class name we have created here. So after creating a class we have to use the name of that class, then we have to use object names. So in this way we can create objects. So objects are created from class name. So this is the syntax. So here you can see example. So here we are creating student class, and this is the body of class. Inside body, private, public, roll number, name, read data, print data, members are there. So after class is created, here we can create object. So for creating object we have to use the name of a class. So here name of class is, so what is the name of class? Student. This student is the name of class. So we have to use this name here to create object. So student is the name of class. From this class we are creating two objects, S1 comma s2. So we can create many objects in same single line from a class, single class. So these are the objects s1, s2. So you can create any number of objects, but condition is that to create a object, first we have to create a class. So like integer roll number, we are creating a variable. Integer is a basic data type, fundamental data type, variable name. Same for creating object also, same rule is used, class name, object name, like this. So in this way we can create objects. Okay, then the last section, arrays as member of class. So it means we can use array inside class body also. So here example is there, integer m5. So this is a array. So how to know array? Because if a name, variable name followed by square bracket, then it is called as array. So this is a array m5. So it means that we can use arrays as member of a class, means we can use arrays inside class body also. So it is called as array member, and this is a data member. Now it is a array member. So next topic is array of objects. So it means we can create arrays as object also. Here we are creating member array, we can also create objects of array. So here example, okay, this PUC 150 and PUC 220, these are two arrays are there. Array, why means if any name followed by square bracket, then it will become array. So these are two arrays, but their data type is student. Student is a class. If we are creating a variable from a class, then that is called as object, and this is a array. So it is both, it is object also and it is array also, hence it is called as array object. So here s1 and s2, these are simple objects. So here we are not using any brackets. So this is a simple object or only object. But here PUC1 and PUC2, they are used with square brackets. So when we use square bracket, that will become array. But this array is created from class name. So then it will become object. So it is object plus array. Hence the name is array object. So like this, you can see the difference here. What is difference between array member and array object? So array member means a normal array which is created inside class body. And what is array object? Array object is a type of object or type of array which is created from class name. So this is about this notes. So last topic is, okay, so almost this notes I have explained. So this chapter is for total 6 marks. So in examination you will get 1 marks question, one 1 marks question and one 5 marks question. Total it will be for 6 marks. Okay, read these notes thoroughly. I have explained it. Okay, tomorrow or day after tomorrow I will take a just objective type test on this chapter from these notes only. So read it perfectly.